All right, so we've had a few days away. I've been working in the background, but I was at the office on Thursday, and then on Friday it was a bit chaotic. So here we are Monday night. So we've been carrying on building out the sites. I've got a couple in WordPress as we talked about previously, but the majority of them I'm continuing to build as HTML and CSS sites. What I'm thinking is if I can figure out a way of deploying them into WordPress in the future, then we could use WordPress as kind of like a headless browser, but let's see how that goes. Anyway, today what I wanted to talk about is the specifics of the process that we're going through. There's a few questions from within the school community as well, so I'll be answering those. But yeah, really what we wanted to talk about is exactly what we're using as the prompts and why we're using this. So yeah, let's get into that. So first we want to look at the local business. This is our kind of content generation prompt. So what we're looking to do is create comprehensive SEO optimized content for a local business website with the following exact specifications. So we have an opening hook, which is 75 to 100 words. Write 2 to 3 sentences that naturally incorporate the business name and service in the first sentence. Focus on local customer pain points and immediate value proposition. Do not label this section as introduction. Business overview section 150 to 200 words. Brief but comprehensive introduction about business name / service, including local market position, years of service in the community, and primary value proposition for local customers. Content structure requirements. Use business name service strategically throughout all content sections. Create compelling H2 and H3 headings with high keyword density, focus on business name service and location modifiers. Incorporate LSI and LLP terms relating to business name service and local market. Include location specific keywords, city, neighborhood, near me variations. Right, so it carries on from here, but you can see that we've got a pretty good initial prompt. So this is not a case of write some content about city name and service, right? We're getting into lots of different elements with this. So that's that side of it. And then we've got the vibe coding with tasting. I think I shared a bit about this before, but it says it's Mung Toad, but I don't think that's who it was, and I can't find the video. So yeah, what I did is I took a YouTube transcript of a software developer who was explaining things in an interesting way. So what it basically sets out is that AI design is generic. What we want is something that is actually beautiful. And so therefore it used 3D resources in Spline. We're doing HTML, CSS, so it won't use Spline because that's a extension. Animated assets, hero sections, feature sections, etc., right? So that's the design specification. So this is one that I did for the Watford painters and decorators. But what I wanted to do in this video is basically replicate this. So if we just copy all of this, and we're going to pop all this into a new chat. So I tend to use Claude Code to, where's that gone? Tend to use Claude Code to do this. Hang on, that's the one we've already got. So we need this one. Right, so go back into my chats and then we do new chat. Right, so there we go, we've got that. And then literally my prompt is this, but copied, right? And so let's just talk about what that actually says. Create a product requirements document for a lightweight HTML, CSS and JavaScript website for the following. Right, so the next one that we're going to do is watfordsolar.com. Providing domestic and commercial solar panels, battery storage, and what else does it provide? EV charging, EV charging solutions to consumers in and around the Watford, Hertfordshire area. that's not entirely right. And we don't need the any questions. Right, so this should now go away and generate a nice PRD for us, so product requirements document. Once we've got the product requirements document, then basically we'll incorporate this into the website itself. So the way that we will do that is in Claude Code. So I'll just see what we've got going on here. So this is actually now building out the Watford Painters and Decorators website. So as you can see, it crashed, so I had to initialize the project again. But basically it hadn't done anything. So as you can see, this appears to be a new project for Watford Painters and Decorators with only a PRD. So first things first, I get it to create the PRD as a markdown document in the folder. And in fact, let's actually set that up. Right, so what we're saying is new folder, and it's going to be Watford Solar. In fact, we'll lose the .com, right? So this, we copy it, so we press the option key to copy as path name, and then what we do is we go into here, we do CD, which means change directory, we click that and press enter, and then we write Claude, right? So this is now going to initiate Claude in here. What I might do is actually, while that's still loading, Claude dangerously. Right, so we'll put this in here as well. Oh, it's still thinking. Might crash. So we're going to say to it, Claude dangerously skip permissions. So basically what that does is it encourages it to set it up without too many interruptions. Okay, the directory appears to be empty. Solar energy monitoring and management application. Interesting. You never know what it's going to come up with. Right, so that's still building. While that's built, that's done. Right, the way it works is really weird. It didn't used to do this, so here we go. Right, so this is the product requirements document. So now we're going to say create the following as a .md PRD in this folder, and then build. So basically what I've done there is I've switched into plan mode, because what we want it to do is basically build a plan and then build a series of sprints to build the project out. Okay, so use subagents throughout and record all tasks with .md files, right? So what we're trying to do is get into the routine of best practice, because if we can get it to consistently record things, then it works quite well in terms of giving us the elite. That didn't work. What does that mean? You haven't created the PRD. Please try again. I've never seen that happen. I've seen lots, but never that one. Okay. So while that's going on, we've got Watford fencing, which is, according to this, is now done, which is on the other laptop, so I can't show you that one there. Right, so there we go, it's done it this time. Create a PRD.md, complete product requirements document, create sprint and plan documentation. Initialize the product with folder structure, docs, public tests, package.json with scripts. We don't need that. Right, so HTML, CSS, etc., etc. Build service pages, implement contact forms, create gallery component. Right, there we go. Right, so that's all good. So we're going to set that one off. That is literally it. Right, this is what you have to do to set up a new project, and then It creates the product PRD document. It creates the sprint one, which is the foundational core features, and hopefully it will begin to use. It should begin to use sub-agents. And the way that I created my sub-agents was got Claude to do it. So basically, what I asked it was, what's all the roles involved in software development, and then got it to create a file for each of them. So it wasn't too complicated, but I think there were 13. Let's have a look. Can we see agents? I won't do it in this one. Back end, we can shut that. Exit match. So this is another project I'm currently working on. But anyway, right, let's have a look. Yes, do that. Okay, so it's now created a product requirements document. I don't know why it did those extra bits in there, but anyway, we'll let that crack on. And it's using, as we can see, we've got sub-agents, so it's basically engaged the project manager. So that's what we wanted to see. While that's working, couple of things. Right, so there is a link that's going to be included in the description, which is a link to get Perplexity Pro for free for 12 months. So I've got it here. This is a different Gmail account that I've got. And I got Pro for free for 12 months. So that's a pretty good deal. I'll include the link in the description. Just see that as a little value add. Basically, what you have to do is sign up with your PayPal account, but it works. Right, so that worked. And what I wanted to talk to you about was this. So we've been building out Tradesman Finance. And so this is HTML. I really like it. I think it's good. It's got... Not so sure about this bit, but anyway, it's okay, it's enough. And what we're going to start doing is doing outreach for this, using this. For some reason, the headers don't display on this page, and I've asked it multiple times to fix it, and it hasn't. So these are the annoying things about Tradesman Finance. Right, so form submission, it wasn't, so working form. The form that has a mail to fallback that opens user's mail account with proof. No, we don't want that. We want a form integration software that automatically sends the completed form to us. I've used one before. Find it, please. Right, so there is a piece of software that you can get that basically sits in the form, and then if anyone completes it, it automatically, let me see if I can find it, form integration software for HTML website. Form bold, it wasn't that. It's Form Spree, this one. So it's pretty cool. What you do, so I did it for St Albans Decorators. Yeah, and you basically just create a new form. In fact, I should probably do it as new project. So let's call it Watford. So, oh no, sorry, it's Tradesman Finance, wasn't it? Tradesman Finance dashboard. I think we'll just do it this way. I think that's what I did last time. Europe. So what this gives us then is like a, let's do that, London, respect to my site, so that was watfordsolar.com, save. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll just get the code, just do this on contact us, send emails to me, and then right, form spree. Right, so I've sussed that one out in advance. I've set it up with form spree. Here's the details. Let me know if there's anything else that you need. So this one is kind of, we're getting to the point that it's becoming pretty close. Yeah, we're getting pretty close with this one. So let's see what's going on in Watford Painters and Decorators. It's creating a locations.py, and then it's basically creating sub-locations. So Borehamwood, Garston, Croxley Green. It's got a couple of others. Let's see what the other locations are. So this one, as you can see, is like not too far off, and I only started that earlier. So trade with finance, I'll use the form. There we go. So hopefully that will solve the form issue that we've got with that website, and then we're in a good position. Right, so one of the questions that I got in the school community was about content. And so effectively what we're going to be doing in terms of optimizing the content is using a piece of software called Neuron Writer. So Neuron Writer is usually available via AppSumo. Neuron Writer. Yeah, so it's still available on there, I think. Oh, it's sold out. Okay, so they periodically bring it back, I believe. But anyway, you can pay to use it. I don't know how much it is. So I think I've got this one, 45,000 AI credits. I mean, I don't really use the AI bit, but what you can do with this is basically do all of the. So what it kind of looks at is the keyword densities and number of times that you're saying specific keywords, and any keywords that you're missing in your content, both in the headers and also in the depth of the content. And then secondly, what you can do is actually incorporate entities in it as well. And then finally, what you can do is generate schema with it. So it's pretty good. Yeah, worth looking at. So yeah, that's something I bought years ago and I've had in the bank. So that's what I'm intending to use for the site. So what we're going to do is basically effectively build placeholder content for the site. I've got my laptop in the way so I can't see. Right. So that's done. Yeah, so basically what we'll do is we'll create placeholder content for the time being, and it should be fairly good, as you've seen from the kind of depth of the content that we've put in. But nevertheless, we still probably need to expand upon it, and it might be that it's actually over optimized. So sometimes the way that I use tools like Neuron Writer, because I used to have a kind of plethora of these, I've kind of cut back on subscriptions for things like that, but is you basically go through and you can end up really over optimized. So what I'm trying to do is not over optimize the sites and keep the content levels down. But yeah, as you can see, I don't think we've gone through the full list. So we've commenced St Albans Decorators, St Albans Driveways we're pausing on, St Albans Fencing has commenced, St Albans Media, I'm not sure what to do with that. St Albans Scoop will be a duplicate or replica from Harpenden Highlights. So that one is one that we are working on. I was hoping that I could launch it. Let me see. Where is it? Harpenden Highlights. I don't want to visit the admin panel. Backend API. It's been successfully launched. Okay, let's have a look. 3002 it's saying. I don't think it's going to work. Oh, there we go. Right, so Harpen and highlights. I've done quite a lot of work on this. This is our admin panel. So effectively what this is going to become is like an events, and we're going to include some news in it as well. I don't think this is going to load. I just think that's going to be a killer loop. The back end API. I don't want the back end API. I want the front end. Launch the front end website. Right, so basically we've got a full administrative login. What are I don't know what the credentials are. Super admin credentials are blah. Alright, super admin 123. Right, we'll have to change those. Okay, so what this should be able to give us, obviously that button's not very good. Oh dear. Yeah. Give me a username and password that doesn't work. That's helpful. Anyway, so that should now work. We'll get a success message and then it will send us through. So that's cool. So that form is integrated. What else have we got? Oh yeah, voice calling. So I've been working today. I found, basically I just gave the AI all of the information from OpenAI's new API for calling, and I'm basically looking at outbound cold calling as a strategy, B2B. But yeah, let's keep on testing it. I got it to work, so I was able to make a call. It basically spun up a kind of local site. Let me see if I can find it. It's probably here somewhere. I spun up a kind of local site for it, and then it was basically connecting, and I was getting AI to talk to me, which was quite interesting. So that was, yeah, the kind of front end interface was working. And then what I tried to do was incorporate a different voice. So I was trying to get a English woman because I didn't really want it to be a man. But right, let's see. Where was it? I wonder. Anyway, yeah, so we got this to work, and it's basically I'll just input all the documentation of OpenAI, and it kind of built it straight away. So let's do this. Right, what's happening with Watford Painters? So it's still creating these individual pages. So it's basically breaking it down into tasks. It's probably not recording the results because that tends to be what happens. And now, oh look, Watford Solar's doing quite well. I mean, if you look at this and you think, you could potentially get these up to a reasonable level, right? So we commence this one now. Right, St Albans resin drives. I quite like this resin drives thing. I think there's something in it. Right, so what we'll do is we'll replicate the process. New folder. St Albans resin drives. And then we're going to do that and copy that. I mean, basically the problem is when you've got multiple sub-agents running, it churns through your credits. So yeah, you'll probably not want to do another one because otherwise we're going to run out of space. Not run out of space, but run out of credits. It really cans through them. What I could do actually is let's do the PRD on it while we're live, and then yeah, we could do the right. So go back into our chat. So it's Watford Solar. We want to get the last one out, and this is all I'm doing, right? honestly, this is all I'm doing. We could do this one as a WordPress one, maybe. Yeah, let's do that. Right. So we've got that. Why is it making me scroll all the way back up? No, it's not letting me copy it. 95 lines. Okay, new chat. And then we want to get this. Except this time what we'll do is, let's try it a different way. So we will do new chat and we'll say lightweight WordPress website installed via local WP with WordPress CLI access. Okay. For the following, and what was it? It was St Albans Resin Drives, wasn't it? Yeah, there we go. So Resin Drives to consumers and businesses in and around the St Albans, Hertfordshire area. Right. So what we then need to do is open up local. Okay. So that's just loading. Well, that was a fast one. I don't think you get thousands of searches for it, but I just think Playfair. Always Playfair. But I think these are the kind of local sites that historically it would have been quite hard to actually justify spending the time or the money on. But I think with AI, you can potentially get these done pretty easily. Right, a new version of local is available, so typically it's going to be 3 minutes, 2 minutes to install it. But while that's going, so area measurement tool, pattern complexity multiplier. So it sounds pretty good. Oh, interesting. Yeah, there's another one that I've just thought of that I need to do, which is, I'll add that to the list. Horse box hire. Chauffeur, you know what I mean. Right. How do you spell it? There you go. Okay, so this is still downloading. Let's see what's going on once again. Can't see what I'm doing. These are just firing through. I mean, implementation plan, project foundation, design and implement design system, build home page, create location page template, create all location 12 location play, implement service. So it needs to do service pages. It's doing the interactive features, SEO optimization, add performance optimization, and create testing and validation document. So there's not that much left to do. I mean, that's, you know, just running really. So this one, Sprint Run Foundation, core features, interactive tools, seems to be going pretty quick. I think this one's going to finish before the other one. Let's see. There we go. Right, so the update for WP Local has, looks like it's processing it. While we're waiting, should we see if we can add a local site? Create a new site. So what we do is all I've done is create a new site, and I'm saying I want to browse. I want to stick this. I've basically bought a solid state drive, and then I'm going to call this local WP sites, create the folder, and then we're going to do a folder in there, and this one is St Albans resin drives. Okay, right, so that's where it's going to be stored. St Albans resin drives .co.uk. There we go. Preferred, whatever. So admin 123. Okay, just go into these, United Kingdom. No, not multi-site. Go. Okay, it's thinking. Oh. I don't want to quit and install. It's just quit. We'll probably have to do that again. Okay. Holy shit. That was super fast. Launch the site. So obviously what we should probably be doing is, if we've got this form thing that seems to work within HTML sites, we'll potentially use that every single time. No. This is a HTML, CSS and JavaScript site. There should not be any dependencies. Hang on a minute. Why is it kind of implying that it hasn't actually done anything? Look, there's not a single file in there. So you haven't actually created a single file in the folder. What have you been doing all of this time? I don't understand how it's come to this conclusion. Anyway, this is the joys of coding with AI. As we can see, this one's doing it properly. So we've got the full stack web developer working away, and this one isn't. So there we go. Anyway, right, that's enough for one day. Hopefully that was useful. Hopefully you picked up some bits. And yeah, let's keep on pushing on. We're going to get, where did we get to with that other one? So I need to open WP local. Why did it do that? Yeah. Anyway, I'll try and get that. Loaded. And let's see. I might just have to tell it to not download it. Now it's going to download it again, which is another 2 minutes wait. But effectively, what we're going to try and do is get Claude or Claude Code to integrate with WP Local, and you can potentially do that from a file basis, but also through WP WordPress CLI, which is the command line interface. And I think with the combination of both of those, you've got enough control to actually create a site. And particularly if you did it with something, a site builder software. So yeah, we can test that out. That could be tomorrow's task. But anyway, hopefully that's been interesting. On to the next one, and have a good evening.